Opening the meeting of the City Council for January 14th, 2025. This meeting can be viewed live on Northern Berkshire Community Television Station, Channel 1303, and will be posted to their website as soon as possible. We will also be live streaming on YouTube today. You can go to www.youtube.com/@NorthAdams. Just click on live and then on 2025-01.01.14 City Council meeting. I will now take the attendance. Blackmere? Here. Bona?
Here.
Fitch?
Here.
Morrow? Here. Oleskowitz?
Here.
Sapienza?
Here.
Did you go over my name?
Did I thought
You
I
missed-
said you. Breen?
No, you went from Bona to
Sorry.
Fritsch.
I forgot you, I'm sorry. I thought I said
I'm
you.
crushed.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
here. Let's move the flag.
I
Seriously.
used to have that problem.
Seriously, let's move the flag.
We can. We
Okay.
can actually move it over. Counselor Sapienza is on,
No, you don't have to do it now.
Counselor Sapienza is on the phone. So he is remote. Shade? Here. Wilkinson?
Here. I don't
Okay,
like
if we
it.
can have a moment of silence in honor of the recent death of Jimmy Carter, for which our flags are currently flying at half-mast for 30 days, and for Christopher Barton, who is a resident of North Adams and tragically died in an accident while working on his car, and he has been quite a member of the community. And the Pledge Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we need to call for a nomination for council president.
I nominate Councilor Brian Sapienza for council president.
Second.
Okay,
Okay.
do we have a vote? We need to do a vote, all votes, because we have Counselor Sapienza online. We have to do all votes by
Roll call.
roll call.
Shouldn't we ask if there are any other nominations and then close the nominations?
Okay. Are there any other nominations for council president?
Just
No other
protocol.
nominations? Counselor Sapienza, do you accept?
I accept the nomination for council president.
And can we have a vote? Blackmere?
Yes.
Bona?
Yes.
Green?
Yes.
Fitch?
Yes.
Morrow? Yes. Oleskowitz?
Yes.
Sapienza?
Yes.
Shade?
Yes.
Wilkinson?
Yes.
We have 9 yeas. Congratulations, President Sapienza.
Thank you very much.
President Sapienza, because he is not present, will be officially sworn in at the next meeting. I made sure to reach out to the state, to our council, and to all the clerks to ensure that we were doing this correctly because Councilor Sapienza is sick. Because the precedence has been to do swearing in officially in person, we are going to stick with that and have the swearing in at the very next meeting. I would now like to call for a motion for nominations of council vice president.
I
I
nominate,
nominate Ashley Shade, Counselor Ashley Shade, as vice president.
Second.
Do we have any other nominations? No other nominations? Counselor Shade, do you accept the nomination for vice president?
Yes, I do.
And we will have a vote. Blackmer,
Yes.
Bona,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Fitch,
yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
Alaskowitz.
Yes.
Sapienza,
Yes.
Shade,
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
I would now like to swear in Counselor Shade, Vice President Shade. And I'm going to turn this around. As long as it doesn't fall. Please raise your hand and repeat after me. I
I,
state your name,
Ashley Shade,
having been elected
having been elected
as the Vice President
As
of
the
the
Vice-
North Adams City Council,
as the Vice President of the North Adams City Council,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will uphold
that I will uphold
the laws and regulations
the laws and
of
regulations
the Commonwealth
of the Commonwealth
and of the City of North Adams,
and of the City of North
and
Adams,
that I will faithfully
and that I will
and
faithfully
impartially
and impartially
perform all duties
perform all duties
of my office
of my office
as the Vice President of the City Council
as the Vice President of the City Council
according to the best of my abilities
according to the best of my abilities
and understanding.
and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, the next item of business are the council rules of order. We are going to postpone a vote on these until new business, as we have several changes in our new business section of our agenda. Without objection? Hearing none, we'll postpone those until new business.
Just a question.
Yes.
Are we talking about the changes that are on the agenda for this evening?
Those are where we will talk about them on the agenda, but technically they would fall under this.
But shouldn't we still
It's
approve the rules of order because they're still current until they're changed?
technically, no, we would still be under the operation of the old rules until new rules are adopted. The rules haven't changed yet, but we can discuss that when we get to the new business. How we want to proceed with new rules. Councilor Blackmer?
I would say traditionally, we just presented them, but now that I think this order actually goes back to probably before everybody had everything on laptops and before we had everything on the website too, where we would actually get physical copies and then they would be referred to general government.
Yeah, that makes
So-
sense.
We're fine, we'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah, we're still going to talk about them, but it's better to talk about them when they're actually on the agenda later on rather than to have the discussion here, because we have actual papers to go over. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me. I think it's here more as a listing, and I think maybe next time we take it out of the listing,
Yeah.
so that we don't have this confusion. I think
Agreed.
they were more handed out.
I agree. Any other questions? Okay. We have committee and liaison assignments. So Councilor Sapienza has provided the committee and liaison assignments. For community development, we will have Councilor Fitch as chair, with Councilor Blackmer and Councilor Bona serving. For general government, we will have Councillor Alaskowitz as chair, with Councillors Wilkinson and myself, Councillor Shade, serving. For finance committee, we have Ashley Shade, myself as chair, Councillor Blackmer and Councillor Fitch serving. For public safety, we have Councillor Sapienza as chair, with Councillor Morrow and Councillor Breen serving. And public services, we have Councillor Bona, chair, with Councillor Alaskowitz and Councillor Morrow serving. And then the North Adams City Council liaison assignments. There are no changes in the liaison assignments for the second half of our term. This list is to remind everyone what their assignments were and that they will continue until the end of the term. So for the Airport Commission, we have Councillor Breen. For Bart Charter School, Councillor Morrow. For the Hoosick Water Quality District, Councillor Alaskowitz. For Mass MoCA Commission, Councillor Fitch. For McCann School Committee, Councillor Breen. For the North Adams Contributory Retirement Board, Councillor Wilkinson. For the North Adams Housing Authority, Councillor Shade. For the Planning Board, Councillor Blackmer. For the School Committee, Councillor Bona. For Traffic Commission, voting member, Councillor Sapienza. The Presidential Appointment to the Idea Commission, Councillor Shade. And to the North Adams Chamber of Commerce, Councillor Sapienza. Okay, and now we are on to the agenda items. First, we have council seating. Okay, thank you. So would Councillors Wilkinson and Councillor Morrow please come forward to help draw the new selection for seats?
Without looking, let's see.
You want to take the urn or the box?
I'll take the box. Scary. So you're gonna wanna hold that
I have
up,
a feeling there's a hand gonna jump out of it.
and you're gonna wanna hold yours up.
Yes. Let me know when you're ready.
Should I just read it?
Yep.
Wilkinson,
Whoa. The hallway, no. One.
nice, lucky number one.
Which one is one? Over here.
Right there.
Right there.
And next we have Shade.
She gets number 3.
Nice. And Alaskowitz.
Drop. 5.
Bona.
4.
Blackmere.
I folded them up real good.
Yes, you did. Why didn't you put scotch tape on them, too? 7.
Sapienza.
Doesn't need a number?
Yeah.
Doesn't get one.
Morrow.
2. Ah, neighbor.
Nice.
We'll be sorry.
Breen.
8.
And Fitch.
We're 1 short. No, I'm joking. I might as well make this fun. We're here all night tonight. 6.
So the seating assignments for the next, starting next meeting will be seat number 1, Counselor Wilkinson, seat number 2, Counselor Morrow, seat number 3, Counselor Shade, seat number 4, Counselor Bona, seat number 5, Counselor Alaskowitz, seat number 6, Counselor Fitch, seat number 7, Counselor Blackmer, and seat number 8, Counselor Breen.
Can I say that again? Can I see that?
My penmanship is terrible.
Okay.
My penmanship is terrible.
Next item is approval of minutes. We'll start with the minutes from November 12th, 2024. Do we
So-
have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, Counselor Alaskowitz, Counselor Fitch. And this will be a roll call vote.
Blackmer,
Yes.
Bona,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Fitch,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
Alaskowitz,
Yes.
Sapienza,
Yes.
Wilkinson,
Yes.
Shade.
Yes.
9 yeas.
Okay, 9 yeas, the motion passes. Next, we have approval of meeting minutes from December 10th, 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
Counselor Blackmer, Counselor Morrow. And this will be a roll call vote.
Blackmer,
Yes.
Bona,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Fitch,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
Alaskowitz.
Yes.
Sapienza,
Yes.
Wilkinson,
Yes.
Shade.
Yes.
9 yeas.
Motion passes, 9 yeas. And we have approval of minutes from the December 24th, 2024 council meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we actually, point of order question, do we actually approve them since there was no meeting held?
The meeting was technically opened, so
Okay.
because there was a meeting opened and closed, we should approve that no business occurred.
Thank you.
Do we have a
Second.
we have a second? Thank you. And this is a roll call vote.
Blackmer,
Yes.
Bona,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Fitch,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
Alaskowitz.
Yes.
Sapienza,
Yes.
Wilkinson,
Yes.
Shade.
Yes.
9 yeas.
9 yeas, the motion carries. Okay, next we have hearing of visitors. This is an opportunity for the public to speak to the council for 2 minutes regarding items listed on the agenda. As a reminder, I will tap the gavel when you have reached your 2-minute limit to signal that your time has ended. And as a courtesy, I ask that all parties please refrain from any personal attacks. Do we have anybody that would like to come to the podium to speak? Okay, come up to the microphone. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Ryan Smith. I'm an attorney with a law practice in Pittsfield. I'm here tonight with my client Michael Milazzo with regard to issues pertaining to the Airport Commission, which is on the agenda this evening, the possible appointment of Doug Herrick to the Airport Commission. I want to start by urging the City Council to table the vote on Mr. Herrick's appointment to the Commission, because we've conducted an investigation of several matters related to recent conduct at the Airport Commission, as well as conduct by certain city officials. And I'm asking the council to engage in an independent investigation of matters related to the resignation of Mark Morandi and Mike McCarron. I could tell the council that our investigation has revealed conduct that involves coercion of commission officials, the commissioners themselves, in violation of federal and state law, as well as the city's grant assurance obligations with respect to funding from the FAA and from Mass DOT. Now, the provisions of the grant assurances specifically require that the city provide that the commission The Airport Commission is to have the sole custody and control of the airport, as well as that the city has agreed not to take any action to reorganize the Airport Commission or in any way interfere with the autonomy or the authority of the Airport Commission. That has been exactly what's happened. We've learned that each of the commissioners was forced to meet with...
You're on 2 minutes, sir. Thank you. Please come up to the microphone. Name and address for the record, please. You'll have 2 minutes.
My name is Michael Malazzo, 91 Wheeler Ave, Clarksburg, Mass. I also own a business here, well, a couple businesses here in the city. I've been here for 40 years. I would like to question whether it's even a legitimate agenda item on your agenda tonight. It says, as underhandedly as this administration can do, that it's a reappointment, so nobody should come and pay attention because it's just a reappointment to somebody. This person's never sat on a commission within this city. It's not a reappointment. This is a way of the administration to appoint somebody that really doesn't belong on the commission. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and one more thing is, the 2 commissioners that have already resigned were told, you either vote the way we want you to vote, or you can resign. And it's completely against Chapter 90 law, as well as the federal...
Interrupt for a second. That's not true. That was
No,
said-
wait a second, I think
This isn't
I'm
a
allowed
back and forth. This isn't a back and forth.
Point of order.
Please,
Point of
this is
order.
not a time for debate. This is
This is
public
not a
hearing.
debate.
When we get to the agenda item on the agenda, we can hear more, but for now,
Not from that.
A
time.
point of order.
Yes.
I would say about 33 seconds of the gentleman's time was taken from this argument. You
Yeah.
should give him more time.
You have 30 seconds to continue if you'd like to.
Excuse
You
me?
have 30 more seconds to continue if you'd like to finish.
Oh, we've had a private investigator speak with both of the, well, one of the folks that resigned from the Airport Commission, and they told me, or told us, that this administration went to each commissioner and told them, you'll either vote the way we want you to vote, or we're gonna ask for your resignation. Completely against Chapter 90 law, as well as grant assurances for the federal government. You're risking, I don't know, $20 or $30 million worth of federal money coming into the city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else would like to speak, please? Name and address for the record, and you have 2 minutes.
David Odell and 907 Mohawk Trail. So the main item on the agenda that I'm going to be specifically bringing up would be with President Sapienza's request of an amendment of the revised ordinance of the City of North Adams, because from this perspective, from my own analysis of like economics as well as political science from North Adams, more specifically, this population has a almost near 20% poverty rate, meaning roughly around 3,000 of its citizens are currently in poverty right now. Now, at the same time, too, there are seriously a lot of issues currently going on in this city. Now, it may not be like blatantly apparent. It could be underlying economic issues such as market saturation, with businesses taking up a large share of the market and everything, through basically pulling a whole bunch of different markets into one single entity, basically shutting down any other kind of business from pulling through or developing. Now, one thing that I have noted is, due to this, the reduction of meetings through simple, like, bi-monthly, just seems like it's more restricting the voices of North Adams citizens, and would not actually allow for any kind of, like, cohesive argumentation or even debate about it. And from this perspective, it seems to me that it's almost like a targeting on civil liberties, if you will. So that is my point.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to business. There's currently nothing listed under old business. So we will move on to new business. Council Paper 12,445, a petition from National Grid, Project 307831111, requesting a public hearing for a new pole location on Vesey Street. I will go ahead and read the communication into the record. Dated December 6, 2024, the City Council of North Adams, Massachusetts, to whom it may concern. Enclosed, please find a petition of the National Grid covering National Grid pole locations. If you have any questions regarding this petition, please contact Michael Tatro, michael.tatro@nationalgrid.com. Please notify National Grid's Jennifer Inalafo of the hearing date and time. If this petition meets with your approval, please return an executed copy, including hearing date, National Grid, and address. Very truly yours, James Kerher, Supervisor, Distribution Design. And with that, we will set the public hearing for Tuesday, January 28th, 2025 at 7 p.m. to coincide with 3 other National Grid public hearings. Any discussion? Hearing none, we will continue. Next item, Council Item 12,446. A communication from President Sapienza requesting an amendment to the revised ordinances of the City of North Adams, Chapter 2, Administration, Section Number 2.1, Council Meetings. With no objection, I will read the communication into the record and file the communication. Councilor Sapienza, would you like me to read this for you, or would you like to read it to us?
If everybody can hear it, I can read it here if you'd like.
Can everybody hear Councilor Sapienza? No, the audience can't hear you, so I'll read it in.
Okay, go ahead.
Dear Councilors, a communication from President Sapienza requesting an ordinance to amend the ordinance section 2-1 entitled Council Meetings. Background. This proposed ordinance and amendment gives the President the ability to cancel a City Council meeting in the lack of an agenda or items to be acted upon. This was the case at the second meeting of December, which occurred on December 24th, 2024. Ordinance currently requires a meeting to be held regardless of whether or not there is an agenda item. Therefore, I present the following proposed amendment to ordinance. An ordinance to amend the ordinance section 2-1 entitled Council Meetings, and add the following sentence to the end of the first paragraph after emergency. In addition, the President may cancel a regularly scheduled meeting of the City Council should there be no agenda items, i.e. old business or new business, to be acted upon at said meeting. Such cancellations shall be posted in accordance with applicable open meeting laws. Sincerely, Council President Sapienza. And with that, we will move on to the agenda item, Council Item 12,446, an ordinance to amend the revised ordinances of the City of North Adams, Chapter 2, Administration, Section 2.1, Council Meetings.
Move to refer to general government.
Second.
With a return date.
I would suggest the return date to be the second meeting of February, because we're going to have 3 items here, and I'm going to assume with this first one, we're going to have to probably talk with the city solicitor.
Okay. Councilor Blackmore, you made the motion. Does
Second meeting in February is fine.
we have?
I'd also like to make an amendment. Should I wait and do that at the general government meeting?
If we're going
Just-
to table it, I think
So we're going to continue, we're going to refer it, so we'll just do it then.
that makes sense. So we have a motion from Councilor Blackmore. Who seconded?
Councilor Luskowitz.
Councilor Westcliff. Okay.
I made the motion.
Any discussion?
Councilor Shade, could you repeat the motion?
The motion is to refer to general government with a return date of the second meeting of February.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Councilor Bona.
Yeah. One, I know we got 2 others following this. I don't know if they all have to be completely read into the record since we have them in front of us, and they're probably all gonna be doing the same motion after this, so I'm just saying to save some time, because I have a feeling they're gonna get tweaked, or there's definitely gonna be some discussion on these at the general government meeting, so
Okay,
just a suggestion.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? This will be a roll call vote.
And the date is going to be, if it's the second meeting in February, it'll be February 25th.
February 25th will be the return date. And a roll call vote, please.
Blackmer,
Yes.
Bona,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Fitch.
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
Alaskowitz.
Yes.
Sapienza,
Yes.
Wilkinson,
Yes.
Shade.
Yes.
9 yeas.
9 yeas, the motion passes. Moving on to council item 12,447, a communication from President Sapienza requesting an order to amend Council Rule Number 1 to allow the cancellation of council meetings when there are no agenda items. Without objection, I will file the communication, and we will move on to the agenda item. Okay. Council item 12,447, and this is the order amending Council Rule Number 1 to allow cancellation of meetings when there are no agenda items.
Move to refer to general government with a return date of the second meeting of February, which is the 25th.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilor Alaskowitz, seconded by Councilor Blackmer. Any discussion? Councilor Blackmer.
I don't think it's an order, because it's council rules. We're not doing anything, it's just council rules. I don't think we've done that in the past with changing council rules, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't think it has to be in actual order to change
Mm.
council rules. I think it's just a committee vote and then a council vote.
Yeah, that was my understanding, so it's not, and we don't have to publish anything.
We don't have to publish for council
Anything
rules.
for council
correct.
rules, it's our rules, we can,
In orders, you don't publish.
no, I know, but I don't think it needs to be in order. I don't think we've ever done that. Just checking.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second to refer to general government with a return date of the second meeting of February, which is February 25th. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, this will be a roll call vote.
Blackmer,
Yes.
Bona,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Fitch.
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
Alaskowitz.
Yes.
Sapienza,
Yes.
Wilkinson,
Yes.
Shade.
Yes.
9 yeas.
9 yeas, the motion passes. Council item number 12,448, a communication from President Sapienza requesting an order to amend Council Rule Number 7 to include clerk's updates in agenda items. Without objection, I will file the communication.
Same, we'll make a motion to...
We gotta move on to it first.
All right.
And we will move on to the actual order. Council item 12,448, an order amending Council Rule Number 7 to include clerk's updates and agenda items.
Move to refer to general government.
Second.
With a return date of February 25th.
The return date of February 25th. Councilor Blackmer?
I think this is where the confusion of council rules comes in. Normally, the council rules are presented as an agenda item with whatever changes might be highlighted or not, and then referred to general government, not as each change as a separate order. Doesn't need to be handled. I think that's maybe what caused the confusion on that aspect of this.
I believe so
So,
as
because
well.
like, you guys can take the general government, can take the whole council rules and change a bunch of things, and it's not a separate order for every change.
Correct, it can all be done at once.
That'll all be done at once.
So we have a motion and a second with a return date for the 25th. Are there any further discussion? Hearing none, this will be a roll call vote.
Blackmer,
Yes.
Bona,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Fitch.
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
Alaskowitz.
Yes.
Sapienza, Wilkinson,
Yes.
Shade.
Yes.
9 yeas.
9 yeas, the motion carries. Moving on, we have council item 12,449, communication number 79 from Mayor Maxu, recommending the reappointment of Doug Herrick to serve as a member of the North Adams Airport Commission for a term to expire March 13th, 2026. Mayor?
Point of order.
Yes?
This agenda item is showing Doug, how do you pronounce his last name?
Herrick?
Herrick, as a reappointment. Was it in the 1960s or 70s?
So the agenda, I'm sorry, Councilor Reno, the agenda is incorrect. My order
Okay,
says
so if it,
appointment.
excuse me, I have the point of order. If it's incorrect, under open meeting law, the agenda has to be reposted, published.
So with the language being incorrect, it can be amended to be correct to say appointment with a vote?
No, only if it doesn't change the outcome. This is a different count. Reappointment is different than appointment.
Okay.
And so it should be reposted under a new agenda to,
Point of order.
Point of order?
You'd said that reappointment and appointment, you're going over semantics. It's the same thing whether he's appointed or reappointed. He's on the box,
well,
and the
kinda
letter's
like
correct.
at Andrew's talking about people that are getting appointed at the last time with the people for the youth, we should have a little bit of a background of this person. My understanding is that he was a commissioner in the 60s. Is that correct?
I would say something that happened before I was born, and I'm 60, is irrelevant.
Well, it wasn't before I was born, and I don't think it's
Point of order.
irrelevant.
Excuse me, everyone. So the gentleman is not being reappointed from a previous
Is
position
he
of
here
being
that could answer the
serving.
question?
The gentleman would not be being reappointed from the position of already having been a current member of the commission. Mayor Maxey, could you please give everyone a clarification?
Sure. The agenda says reappointment. My council paper says appointment. Technically, under the ordinance, I didn't even have to bring this before you because it says it's a mayor appointment. And since I've been mayor, I've brought all appointments, whether they're for you to approve or not, to the floor so we can recognize people. So if you want to postpone it, that's fine, but this is just a confirmation. This isn't for you to, kind of say yes or no. This isn't an approval of the city council. This is just for confirmation only, whereas we have other commissions that require the approval of the city council. So there are some commissions, and this in particular, that it's mayor's approval. And way back when, probably in the 1960s, they didn't bring everyone forward. I've always believed it's important to bring everyone forward so we all know who's on our commissions and publicly acknowledge and thank people for volunteering. So if you want to go through the semantics of reappoint versus appoint, that's fine. That's up to you. That's your business. I don't have a problem with
Vice
that.
President Ashley.
Can I finish, please?
Excuse me, please.
I still
please
have the
allow-
point, I
please
still
allow
have the
mayor
point
to
of,
finish.
no, it is approved by the city council.
Please allow the mayor to finish. Your point of order
Hey.
was already acknowledged. I'm not
Okay.
acknowledging this one
I
until the mayor
don't,
finishes.
whatever you want to do, left or right, it doesn't matter to me.
Thank
But
you.
I can tell you that I would like to appoint Mr. Herrick, despite the previous comments made. I know it's unusual for me to make an appointment of someone who is associated with the airport, i.e. the Mohawk Soaring Club, but I'm starting to recognize that it's very hard to find good people outside the circle. And he has volunteered, and if appointed and if approved, which I don't technically have to have approval from you, we'll do the conflict of interest law, and anything directly relating to the Soaring Club, he will back out of. But I don't care to discuss this matter any further, only than the appointment. If Mr. Milazzo's council wants to talk to the city solicitor about everything else, I'm happy, but I'm not going to get into a contest with Mr. Milazzo and his attorney over semantics. So if you want to postpone it because reappointment versus appointment, I respect that, but my appointment is going to be my appointment.
Thank you, Mayor. Do we have a motion?
You've got
I
people
still
who
have
want to
a-
speak.
I have a question. On his appointment.
We shouldn't have any discussion without a motion on the table first.
Yep.
So do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
A second. Now we can have discussion. Counselor Breen and then Counselor Bono.
In looking at this, it says that it is the unexpired term of Mike McCarron. My understanding, after reading his email, that he said that he's resigning because the city official is telling him how to vote. I think we should send this to committee to investigate why we would have a commissioner be forced to make a vote that is in his email.
Okay.
Also, from Bruce Goff, there's a description about what's going on. I have great concern that the law is being broken in both the federal and the state. I received a call from the attorney inspector. I didn't call them, they called me. There are 2 investigations going on now, and then there is a third one because it's $750,000 worth of grant money from the federal government. What has happened is an RFP went out. It was
Point of order,
voted in
that's not
October.
what's on the agenda.
Yeah.
This is the agenda item.
The agenda,
To
excuse
appoint
me,
somebody, it's not to
Okay, so I
discuss
can do it during the
an
liaison,
RFP.
or I can do it now, but my point is that it says specifically that if it impacts financial economics to the city,
Point of order, it's not the agenda item. The agenda item is voting specifically on one person on the
putting one
commission.
person and putting another
It's
person.
not removing, that person is already,
Order,
It
please.
says will replace.
Order, please. The agenda item is to vote on the appointment of a commissioner. We are not here to debate anything else regarding the airport commission that includes any accusations of wrongdoing. That is not the agenda item. That's not something that we can discuss here.
Then I will talk
Counselor-
about it during liaison.
Counselor Bono?
Yes. A question through the chair, or a question to the chair, or just getting the opinion out there. One, if we're not required to have to vote on this, we could just file it, and instead of tabling it, we could file it and say, it's not our vote, because from the sounds of it, let's just say we table it, or we even vote against it, it's really not our vote. So I'm just putting that out there, that it seems like if the administration wants it to go a certain way, our vote doesn't really matter.
To clarify your point, yes, according to the charter, the mayor has the right to appoint people to boards and commission and does not require a confirmation vote, just that it has been tradition that the mayor does so as a courtesy. But even if we were to vote no, the mayor could still appoint the person at her discretion as is laid out in our city charter. Councilor Wilkinson?
Right, I have to agree that Councilor Breen's discussion may be important and relevant. However, that's not what's on the agenda tonight. I would urge him, if he has deep concerns about what the law is being broken, that he bring it back as a council agenda item, where it can be sent to a committee. It can be morally, not the word morally. It can be discussed more. So putting the cart before the horse. If you want to bring this problem up, bring it up as an agenda item. It has nothing to do with disappointment or not.
Thank you. Councilor Blackmer?
I would disagree with Councilor Wilkinson. I don't think it's the council's business. Unless we're going to change the legislation that establishes the commission, that is our purview. We do not oversee the airport commission. The commission is a separate entity. That's what makes the difference between a commission and a committee. And I think that although I know there's all these accusations, et cetera, I think they have a place, but I'm not sure that they belong here. And I would almost like to get a ruling on that from solicitor, if we could send something to the solicitor, that might be helpful, because I don't think we should.
Please speak in the microphone.
I'm sorry, I don't think we are the ones who have purview over the commission. The commission has purview over itself, and then any state or other governing bodies, not us.
Thank you. Councilor Wilkinson?
I disagree with her disagreeing of my disagreeing, whatever case may be. If there is, whether we have control over a commission or not is irrelevant here. The matter is, if there's somebody thinking there's somebody breaking the law, then I think that's definitely in the purview of the council, and whether it's brought here on the floor, whether it's referred to the police department, whether it's referred to the city solicitor, or whatever, yeah, we can have an opinion on that. The mayor can certainly appoint anybody she wants. That's her purview. However, if as a citizen, somebody considers a law being broken, you don't shove it under the table. You bring it up and talk about it and prove that it's not a problem. Personal opinion only.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion on the actual vote itself?
We're way off
Counselor
base here.
Alaskowitz and then Councilor Bono.
I was just going to agree with Counselor Bowman and Blackmer that if this is a mayoral appointment, we have no purview. I agree with Counselor Blackmer's suggestion of the mayor getting in contact with the city solicitor and getting a judgment on this. And I would just like to bring up one side note that this happens almost every meeting, and we talk about council rule over and over, but we violate council rule 9,000 times a night with people speaking out of order. I mean, there's a way that we speak, people are just jump right in without being recognized, and that's just one thing I'd like to see followed.
Thank you. Councilor Bono.
Yeah. I'm actually going to rescind my, my motion,
Okay.
because I do believe probably the best would be to postpone to get, just so we also for clarification for future, what our authority is when it comes to this in the airport commission. In the meantime, you know, the mayor obviously has the authority to move forward with it, with or without a vote. So, so at this point, I'm gonna rescind, and if someone else wants to make another motion.
Okay, we have no motion on Councilor Blackmer.
What was his actual motion? It
My
got
motion
lost.
was to approve.
Okay, thank you. It got lost in the...
Yeah.
Is there a motion?
I move to postpone this agenda item to the second meeting in January.
Move to postpone to the second meeting of January. Do we have a second?
Are we postponing?
That I don't
I
understand.
would like to add to that, though. Oh, actually,
We need a second first to amend, unless
you
you...
might want to add more. No, why? Like, you want...
To move this discussion forward. I'm sorry, that's all I got right now.
Do we have a second?
Nope.
Hearing none, the motion fails.
I'll second it.
I've already declared that the motion fails, so can we have
Okay, so I'll put-
Councilor Bono?
I'll move the motion. I would postpone the meeting to the next meeting, and also forward to the city solicitor to get an opinion on our, authority over this.
Okay, so the motion is to postpone to the second meeting of January and get an opinion from the city solicitor. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second.
Discussion.
Discussion.
What I'd like to do is ask the city solicitor at the same time to look at the resignation of Mr. McCarron, because he's saying that someone forced him, and that's what prompted this appointment, so I'd like them to look at that.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Bono.
I mean, is that an amendment or we're adding? Because again, to me, that is off this particular.
Yeah.
That's
Agreed.
not the topic of this agenda.
Yeah.
My guess is there's some legal stuff that's going to be happening anyway, that those are going to be questions and answers, so.
Yes, that was a comment. I didn't get a motion from that, so.
Did the motion fail?
Originally,
we have a
indeed, it
motion.
has failed.
We have a motion on the table that did pass. The motion is to refer this.
Withdraw my paper and make this a lot easier for all of you. How's that?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, may I please, Vice Chairman, Vice Chairperson, withdraw my paper?
You may.
Thank you.
The mayor is withdrawing the item.
Thank you.
Because she doesn't have to come back. Thank you.
With that, thank you, everyone. The next council item is Council Item 12,450, a communication from Councilor Andrew Fish requesting time for Lisa Dent from Mass MoCA to speak on Mass MoCA Free Day and winter programming.
Up on this.
You can.
Counselor Fitch, would you like to read your communications?
Yes, thank you. Just as council appointed liaison to the Mass MoCA Commission, and in lieu of liaison updates section of the agenda, I brought a couple of representatives over from Mass MoCA. Yes, and here we go, and it's starting to show too.
But we're
Sorry,
not
folks,
under
I'm a little distracted.
liaisons. We are
It's
not
an
under
agenda item.
liaison.
It's an agenda item, so it's allowed to be
Should
heard.
be under liaison.
No.
Yeah, I put it on the agenda.
It is on the agenda, so
Very good.
it is an agenda
Very good.
item.
But anyway, folks, this is Lisa and Gabe from Mass MoCA. They're here to talk a little bit about Mass MoCA's community engagement, and thank you so much for coming and lifting us up now.
Thank you. And you have 5 minutes, and I'll start the timer now.
Thank you, council members, Mayor Mackey, the community, and Andrew Fitch in particular. I wanted to start off by just recognizing all of the work that all of you are doing to create community. And Mass MoCA as well is working to bring other ways to bring community to our spaces through a very generous support of Mountain One. We've been able to expand free programming throughout the museum this winter, starting with Free Day. Free Day is Saturday, January 25th, and it will encompass a full day of free activities in the galleries and our shopping areas, and the beloved kids space, which will have art making available for families all day. It will also include tabling of community organizations in our event space, where people can learn about the variety of nonprofits that are doing work across the city. We have 3 author talks happening in our new R&D store with both local authors like Eden Robbins, as well as, excuse me, for those of you moving through the PowerPoint. We have Derek Dillinger talking about the joy of winter hiking. We have Susan Weiss, who will talk about their new book, The Orchard. And in addition, we have public highlights tours this year in both English and Spanish. The 1 o'clock tour will be fully in Spanish for families that are interested in moving through the museum with a guided museum educator tour. We also included connections tours, allowing people to move through the museum and having educators in various locations throughout our 300,000 square feet, where they can learn more information about the artists' work that are in our long-term exhibitions and some of our new exhibitions. There is, for instance, a reading that I'd like Gabe Sacco, our Senior Manager for Public Programs and Creative Producer, to talk about, as well as another artist workshop by Fritz Horstman that had happened last year, was extremely popular, where they'll be learning about color theory. And then I'll just end by saying the end of the day includes a reception where all of the artists who are participating through the day will be present, and people can get a chance to meet them and talk with them about what they've learned that day. Yeah, Gabe.
Great. Yeah, Fritz Horstman, interdisciplinary artist, will be here from the Joseph and Annie Albers Foundation doing a color workshop. Thank you. Doing a color workshop, and we're working with color to understand how color changes through our perception. Amy Yos will be with us. She has an exhibition in the museum now as well. Everything's open, drop-in style. She'll be facilitating a drawing workshop with taking the objects from the installation down and using them to draw with. And at 2 p.m., Anne Duplan, an artist who lives in North Adams, will be doing a reading of The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin.
And so what you'll also notice is that we have reached out to creative businesses in the area. So Creative Soul will be providing a dance class, and Gary Lichtenstein Editions, a creative business on the Mass MoCA campus, will be working with Amy Yos to produce a series of prints that people can get to meet her and watch them work together. So we're looking forward to the day. We've regularly had over 2,000 people visit throughout the day, and we really are looking forward to it. After Free Day, there are several free programs that are coming up, including a family story time, a performance of a composition by David Lang, an area artist. And so I encourage you all to look at our website and find other opportunities where you'll be able to come to the museum for free. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Next, we have council item number 12,451, a communication from Councilor Andrew Fitch requesting time for a presentation regarding an opportunity to invest in the Community Development Office and the future of North Adams. Without objection, I will file the communication.
Introduction coming your way in just a moment.
Communication is filed.
Okay, I think it's just going to have to warm up for a moment. Thank you, Temporary Chair Ashley Shade. As Chair of the Community Development Committee of the City Council, I want to do all that I can this year to bring attention to community development, so that's why I put this on the agenda. So as soon as this, I think it's starting up. There's something on there, right? Stand by for a second, folks. Yeah, it's there.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you. Sometimes it just needs time. Yeah. I'll also keep this quick, but I wanted to start also by saying that I'm wearing my late grandmother's neck scarf around my neck right now, because she was instrumental in building a library in her community. And I just challenge us all to think of what we could build in this community with additional investment in community development. So that's really the purpose. So I just wanted to take us through some perceived problems that we have, or challenges that we have in this community, perceived opportunities, potential solutions, and then what's next. So perceived problems. We all know we have infrastructure that needs work here. We have a lot of underutilized properties, both city-owned and privately owned. We have a lack of safe and affordable housing for our residents and for our future residents that may come to join us here in our city. A disjointed and underutilized downtown. We also have city budgetary constraints because we don't have enough tax revenue coming in. And we have a lack of high-wage jobs as well. And these are, of course, some images of potential projects that we have in our city. Several of them are already being discussed, already being worked on, but I just wanted to highlight some anyway. That, of course, is the interior of the Mohawk Theater, crosswalks, some bridges, Sullivan School, Heritage State Park, Windsor Mill, our flood chute system, and a side of Main Street that was torn down in the past and is currently underutilized. Also, dilapidated housing stock, some housing stock. All right. I thought it was. That's great. Thank you. I pulled this from an old article, so thank you for that. So opportunities we have are to rebuild the things that we were just looking at here, to redevelop and offload city-owned property that we don't have plans for, to encourage development of safe and affordable housing, again, for our current residents and future residents that may come to our city, to connect our institutions a little bit better, and to generate more income for the city so that we can do more with all of that and develop our economy. So solutions, I would say, to invest in our community development office. This is, of course, a call and a request for the mayor to consider in this budgetary season an additional investment in our community development office, and also for us as councilors to find legislative solutions. And so as chair of the Community Development Committee, that is one thing that I intend to work on, and I could really use your help. But that's the next slide. Investment in our Community Development Office. We already have a lot of plans out there. Leveraging our existing plans and taking action on them, creating new creative solutions and plans, going after grants more, and executing. And same thing with legislative solutions. I just wanted to state and hold myself accountable, having more regular Community Development Committee meetings, exploring potential legislative solutions like an affordable housing trust or ADU legislation in collaboration with the administration and in collaboration with community partners in building a bright future for North Adams. So what's next? We can have a discussion if we wish to. Consider asking for additional allocation for community development in our 2025 budget, and be on the lookout for Community Development Committee meetings. Thank you. And hopefully that was under 5 minutes.
You're under 5?
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Blackmer, you
Just a note, 2025 budget already approved.
2026.
2026.
Excuse me. Thank you, Councilor
Wait, I
Blackmer.
was like, wait a minute. And secondly, when someone who is the vice president or somebody else is in the chair,
Mhm.
they become the president. So they are,
President
she is Madam
Shea.
President tonight.
Madam President.
Just want that clarification, because
Thank you.
people seem to not know what to call her. So,
thank you
That's
for
true.
clarifying. Anyone else?
Thank you
Here.
for listening, everybody.
Thank you. Hearing none, we will continue on the agenda. Like,
Excuse, I have a point of,
Councilor Breen, please
point
wait
of order.
until you're recognized.
yeah, it's on the agenda. The communication 79 from the mayor, during that time, the point of order, I just looked up Chapter 90, Section 51E. The members of the Airport Commission shall be appointed
Councilor
in
Breen,
cities.
I'm
Wait a
sorry,
minute.
but
Order, we've already closed this
We are
discussion.
not on this agenda item. This agenda item was withdrawn.
mayor's
so it's
already
no longer part of
withdrawn
our
her-
Business, so it's not something that we should continue to discuss at this time. If you'd like to discuss it later, please bring it up as a council paper, but this is not the time to have the discussion regarding this item. Thank you.
It's
not no-
misinformation.
It's no longer on the agenda. It's not the time to have this discussion. Thank you. Licenses. There are no items on the agenda tonight for taxi items, so we will move on to open forum. Open forum. This is an opportunity for the public to speak to the council for 2 minutes on issues of municipal significance. As a reminder, I will tap the gavel when you have reached your 2-minute limit to signal that your time has ended. And as a courtesy, I also ask that all parties please refrain from any personal attacks. Would anybody like to speak? Come on up. Name and address for the record, and you have 2 minutes.
Yes, my name is Nancy Bullitt, and I live on Johnson Street in North Adams. I'm here just to comment and to thank the Community Development Committee, Councilor Fitch, Breen, and Blackmer for hosting a meeting last week. It was a very helpful and healthy discussion about many subjects, but the most important to me is housing. And it's a critical situation for many of us that are 65 and older at this time to be talking about affordable housing for the elderly. And I happen to fall into that category, unfortunately, but I wanted to thank you for bringing that up. And I would also encourage the city, the mayor, to really invest in our community development office, because without them and without their participation, this can't go forward. So I just wanted to just say thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Please name and address again for the record, and you have 2 minutes.
All right, David Odell and 907 Mohawk Trail. So I just also wanted to thank Councilor Fitch and everything. One thing that I've mainly focused on throughout most of my college career has been mainly just community development, economic development, and even much more. And given how North Adams has always been like my hometown, but I've always kind of left it and everything. I've been gone for like 3 years now and everything, kind of experienced better opportunities elsewhere and everything, but still this place kind of resides in my heart. From what I've noted off of my own education, which is currently political science, economics, and also a touch of business as well, all of this has been basically compiling issues all throughout North Adams, and I implore you to pursue this, hands down. I actually, before coming here, ended up looking at a whole bunch of grants, both state as well as federal, and also my advisor, his father actually helped create AmeriCorps with JFK back in the 60s. So basically, one thing that I actually want to do is help provide these resources out to wherever I can, and to also help potentially even like advise wherever need be and everything. But thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Please name and address for the record.
Ryan Smith. I have a law practice in Pittsfield on East Street. I wanted to continue what Councilman Breen was reading from Chapter 90, Section 51E, which is the statute that establishes the legal authority for the Airport Commission, specifically says that the members of the Airport Commission shall be appointed by the mayor with the approval of the city council and in towns by the selectmen. That is exactly how the statute reads, and it was put into law by the legislature, and it does indeed require the council to approve. Now, I would also urge the council to conduct a full investigation, because the mayor's withdrawal of her paper should not preclude a full and thorough investigation of the conduct here, considering the implications for the city and the possible loss of substantial revenue by the changing of the character of the commission because of a political disagreement. That's not permitted under state law, it's not permitted under federal law, and it's not permitted under the grant assurances.
Thank you. Anybody else for open forum?
Mayor's concerns.
Hearing none, mayor's updates.
I've said enough for tonight.
Thank you. Committee reports and minutes. Councilor Fitch.
Nancy already announced it for us, but we had a meeting for the Community Development Committee last week, and we talked about housing needs, Mohawk Theater building needs, updates from the administration, updates from the Cultural District Committee, and Community Development Planning and Strategy.
Thank you. Any other? Nope. Liaison updates. Councilor Breen.
Yeah, an liaison report should have any financial or economic impact to the city.
Excuse me, Councilor, are you giving us an update on any of the commissions, or are you giving us an update on the liaison assignment?
Yeah, airport.
Okay.
At the airport, in October, voted an RFP that would create 5 jobs from $80,000 to $90,000 a year. They are aeronautic technicians. Also in that RFP, it would be $480,000 worth of revenue, rent, if you will, from the hangar. They voted for that. Then a letter from the mayor wanted them to change their vote. And Mr. McCarron resigned, saying that he was receiving pressure from city officials. Also, I received a letter from Bruce Goff explaining the exact same thing that we're talking about. And the letter was sent to the mayor and sent to Kathy Ead, saying that the steps that the city is doing is illegal. And I'd be glad to give a copy of the letter. I also received a call from the Inspector General. And as you can see where the mayor was talking about, she didn't need city approval of the city council. In fact, that is the Massachusetts general law. So I would like to have an investigation before any other commissioners go on here. That's my report.
Thank you for your report. Any other liaison updates? Mayor?
Can I just comment about the MGL versus our ordinance, if that's the
Yes.
case? Counselor Breen, I'd like to see you come forth and we can change the ordinance. But right now.
The state law supersedes the
I
ordinance.
totally understand what you're saying, but right now in the position we're in, that's where we're at. But if we want to be productive, that would be something that the legislative body could do.
Thank you. Moving on to councilors' concerns. Councilor Bono, and then Councilor Morrow.
Welcome, 2025. Former Councilor Bullitt, I really thought you were going to get up there and say how much you missed us. That being said, some of the things that we just started off with tonight, I'd like to just remind us, just by calling point of order, just by saying you have the floor, does not give you full authority. I get to talk as much as I want. Free card. The chair has control of the meeting. When that gavel hits, we stop. And if the instructions come from the chair to be quiet, to sit down, this one speaks, that one doesn't, again, you read Robert's rule, the chair has that control, including time limits and who can talk and who cannot talk. We are not a judicial form of government here. We are legislative. We write laws. We do not convict felons. We do not punish people and throw them in jail and write them fines. That is not our job. It can be discussed, but we have no authority over punishment of employees, committees, boards. We can make it public and make it messy, but we do not have that authority. From some of the discussion of things we're hearing tonight, some of that's going to be dealt with the lawyers. I am not a lawyer. I am not a judge. Let them fight out the laws. However, I still would not have any problem hearing or getting an opinion from the solicitor on, again, with the Airport Commission of what we do have authority over when it comes to the vote or not. Liaison reports. I have not in the past been a fan of liaison reports, and one of the reasons why is early on I remember people would just literally read minutes of stuff that was already in the media or that we already knew. I compliment Councilor Fitch tonight. One of the things I'd rather see instead of liaison reports is at least once or twice a year, the organizations that we are on liaisons to have a representative come in and spend 5-10 minutes giving their update instead of a counselor reading minutes from their meetings. The plus to it being on the agenda is we actually then can ask questions versus a liaison report. You really are not allowed to get into that kind of debate. And then finally, it did get briefly tapped on, I think, in your presentation, but Mayor, at some point, I'd like to know where are we with Sullivan School? The RFP seems like it's been several months, and we haven't heard anything, so.
Yeah. So where we are is we're still negotiating the purchase and sales agreement. It's been in legal and hung up on legal. We have some easement issues that we need to resolve before we can execute and come back to the council with a full plan. So we're still working on that.
And that's been the answer for a while. Is
Yep.
it not, is it moving or just
Well,
halted?
we have this thing called,
Sorry.
No back and forth, please, just one
thank
answer.
you, President.
Thank you. Councilor Morrow?
This Thursday, there is a spaghetti dinner happening at the First Baptist Church at 5 p.m. I believe it's at First Baptist. So if you wanted to join it with your community and have some yummy spaghetti, you guys should join in on that. It would be a good first, there's already been some events of 2025, but a good time to just talk to your neighbors and, a good new year, bringing in the new year for North Adams. And, yep, that's at 5 p.m. on this Thursday. And use the Eagle Street entrance from First Baptist Church.
Thank you. Councilor Blackmer?
I know it's been in the press and some of us were here, but I want to acknowledge the $17 million that Congressman Neal brought to the city for the Ashtabultuk Bike Trail, Adventure Trail. I think it's great to finally see that project moving forward, and I missed the first part of it, and I know they were talking about the people that worked on it, and, I know that this was the late Gail Caridy's kind of baby. She walked the different tracks before we came up with all the alternative ones, and I just really hope that we get to see it at least in my lifetime.
Thank you. Councilor Fitch?
Thank you. It got a little tense in here again tonight, and I just wanted to say I hope that we can not do that and that we can keep our voices lower and be respectful of each other during the meetings. So with that, I'm going to read the definition of decorum, which is behavior in keeping with good taste and propriety. Example is you exhibit remarkable modesty and decorum.
Thank you. Anybody else? Councilor Sapienza, do you have anything?
I do not at this time, thank you.
Thank you.
Get well.
I would like to add to everyone, as was pointed out by Councilor Bona, whether it's me up here sitting in this chair or it's Councilor Sapienza or any of you, please wait to be acknowledged by the chair before you speak. Please be respectful and kind. It's okay to get heated. It's okay to have a discussion, but please always remain respectful with each other. And please wait to be acknowledged by the chair before you speak. It's a courtesy not only to the chair, but to everybody else in the room as well. With that, we don't have any correspondence. A motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved. Second.
You got that?
Jinx.
We have a motion and a second. This will be a roll call vote.
Aye.
Blackmer, yes.
I just gotta grab one here.
Just one moment, please.
Blackmere,
Yes.
Bona,
Yes.
Green,
No.
Yes.
okay.
I would just.
Fitch,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
Alaskowitz,
Yes.
Sapienza,
Yes.
Wilkinson,
Why not?
Shade.
Yes. The meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you.